Hey, this is Angelyse Mariah, and this is an exclusive snippet of my new song, Puro Perreo.
Aquí hay puro perreo, nada formal, con la luna llena, me transformo en un animal, a mí no me importa si me porto mal. Aquí hay puro perreo, en la oscuridad, y me pongo perrita, cuando tú me haces sudar, aquí solo encontrarás maldad. Dime si tú quieres estar conmigo.
Hey guys, welcome to Jews and Dollars. Today we have a really special guest with us, Angelyse Mariah from Union County. She is an upcoming Latina superstar.
You already know, you have to say
I'm excited to have you here.
Me too, I'm excited to be here.
I know you have so many things coming up.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
Good, staying busy, grinding, living life.
I hear a lot. I hear that you have like an activity going on either next week or future projects.
Yeah, I'll have a single coming out very soon. As soon as like everything's done, it's gonna get uploaded. And it will be released. It's called Puro Perreo. And
Puro It's so cute, but you currently have one out that I love.
Travesita.
Yes, that one's really cute. What inspired that song?
So it's funny. I actually that song was one of the first songs that I ever had written, and like done like before I came onto it. I had a friend or like this girl that I knew from high school. She was 2 years older than me.
Okay.
I had never like really talked to her before, but she had followed me for a minute, and she was like, oh, I don't know if you remember me. I went to high school with you, but like, I make music now, and I have this song that I really love, but I don't think it really sounds like my vibe. Like, doesn't fit who I am as an artist, but I think it would sound really good with it. And it was Travesita, and it was like, she showed me the song, and I was like, this is a hit. Like, I love it so much. And then it was so cool to like work on a song that was kind of like the bones were really there, and I kind of just went in and like Angelysified it.
It sounds amazing. When I first heard it, I was like, wow, she's on to something. That's amazing. So she gave you the opportunity to sing her song.
Yeah. Like usually, we wrote like a second or third verse on it because it needed like a little bit more.
Okay.
But yeah, she wrote the song, and it was really cool because all the songs that I've ever had released before that were all like I wrote them. So yeah.
So how did you get into this? How did you get into like writing music and into the music world?
So it all happened. Well, I always knew that I wanted to be in music and make music, but it all happened honestly because of COVID. Before I started doing music, I was doing acting and modeling professionally.
Okay.
And I was working a lot as a kid, and then COVID hit my junior year. Like the end of my junior year. So I was like 16, 17, and I stopped working completely. And I was like, man, what am I going to do? Like, I have all this time. I'm just locked in my house. And at the time, I had gotten into like a program at NYU for like music business and recording. And it was like the first introduction I had to music. So, I was learning about it. I met some kids finally that were my age that like made music because I didn't know anybody that did. And we were, it was during COVID, and we were all bored, and I just worked on some stuff with like the classmates that I had like over the phone through voice notes and stuff like that.
That's awesome. So that was like a blessing in disguise for you.
Yeah.
It inspired you to now look into something new.
Right.
And you found another passion.
Yeah. Well, it's like I always knew I wanted to make music, and
so you always knew this.
Yeah, I just didn't know where to start. Like it was one of those things where like I was always a dancer growing up, and I did acting, I did modeling, but nobody around me did music, and I had no idea where to start. So once I got into that program at NYU and I started learning more about it, that was my introduction. And then COVID hit, and I was bored, I had nothing else to do.
So when you get inspired to write your own song, what inspires you? Or is it like something that you take time to do? Like, do you have a schedule for that? Or is it something that just comes out of the blue? You're like, I have to write this down.
Yeah, I find that like creativity is such more of like a fluid thing, and it's not rigid at all. I could be in the middle of like taking a shower, like on the toilet, like the most random thoughts. Like it's just such that's the way that it is for me. So when I go into making music, it's kind of the same thing. Like if I have a session, I'll book a studio session. I know that we're going to write at that time.
Okay.
But I'm going to be honest with you, there's been some times that I've walked into the studio and me and the producer are just like chatting for a little bit, like for a while before we start, because I feel like that's just the way it is in creativity. Like it's all energy and like a vibe and stuff. So I don't like to keep it very rigid because it doesn't work for me like that. It's a very fluid thing.
It has to flow.
Yeah, like even I go into the studio, I have no idea what I'm gonna write about most of the times. It's like I'll listen to the beat, I'll, hum some melodies, and whatever the melodies start sounding like, I'll usually write something to that. But it's very fluid.
Got it. So besides Bebecita, the new song coming out, did you write that song?
Yeah, it was me and two other people, the same girl, Isalia, she that wrote, Bravecita, she wrote this one with me.
Okay.
And my friend Joelle was also an artist too. And it was a lot of fun. I really like this. And it's definitely a vibe. Yeah.
Is it similar to the Bravecita song?
Yeah, it's all Spanish. It's my second all Spanish song. And I wanted to make a song that was very much like you could dance to, like a summer vibe. I do a lot of summer festivals like in New Jersey, New York. So I wanted something for, my Latino community to like get turned to at these festivals.
I hear you. Are you gonna do anything in English at any time?
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff in English and that I'm working on. It's just like it just so happened that was gonna be like the next song that we decided to like release after. But I do a lot of Spanglish stuff. I feel like
that's where it's at right now too.
Yeah,
especially in our community.
Right.
Like everything is in Spanglish. It should be a language.
Yeah, right. Because like I think that's like such a growing market. The Latino community in America is like such a growing thing, and there's so many people that are just like me who are like second generation and grown up with both English and Spanish and like pull from both of those like genres in music. So it's like that's just who I am. Like I'm on both. So I'm not gonna ever really only do one.
So now that you say that you speak both, can you tell us a little bit about who are you and your culture, your family structure?
Yeah. I'm Dominican and Honduran. My dad is Dominican, my mom's Honduran. And I was born and raised in New Jersey. So it's like, I have that American culture and I have, that culture growing up being Latina. So yeah, like my mom was born in Honduras and my dad was born here in the States. So I'm like 1.5 to second generation. But I still grew up with all the influences. Like, my parents were always listening to like salsa or bachata in the house, but then putting on 50 Cent and like, Missy Elliott.
You had the
and like Mary J. Blige. Right. So I grew up with both and like that's just who I am. And I feel like because of the rise in the, population of Latinos here, it's like so many people can relate to that.
Diversity.
Because it's like I'm never going to be just one.
You're not.
It's both,
And it's fun. And that's where you get the spice from.
Right. Exactly.
It's spicy. So so tell me about your future plans. Like, what is your ultimate goal, like, when it comes to your music? And I see that you're also a great performer. And I know you said that's initially what you were doing, performing.
Yeah.
What's your ultimate goal with the whole music and performing?
Yeah. I'm trying to take this as far as possible. Like, I'm talking about, goals of mine have always been, like, doing a Super Bowl halftime show or, like, playing a set at Coachella and doing those things.
Picture you doing those
things.
I seen you and I can picture you.
Yeah, those are the goals. Like I just love performing and I feel like that's like the main thing that I kind of started out with. Like I started dance at 3 and like acting more at like 10 professionally.
Okay.
So so doing shows now, like it just all builds on top of each other. I've done so many performances throughout my life and it wasn't until about 1.5 years ago I started making like doing shows with my own music, So,
and how does it feel now using your own music?
It's definitely cool because you get to kind of like create a character or like a persona on stage, right? Like you very much tap into a different energy. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I kind of black out like when I'm there. I don't even know what I do.
Because you tap in.
Yeah, I don't even know what I do. Like I've had so many sets where I've done choreography, like, and I've had like set choreography, and I've had so many sets where I have no choreography planned, and it's like I just go on stage and just do whatever. Yeah, like, and I just forget that I'm like, wait, like I'm just freestyling up here. I'm just doing whatever. So I don't know. It's very much like the flow of things. I don't know.
That's so cool because people always talk about, like, for example, like Beyonce, how she goes into Sasha Fierce. Like,
Yeah.
that's similar to what happens to you, right? Like, it's just like you just said, I don't even know what I do. Like, it just
Yeah.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes like I've had to so like as I started doing performances more, I realized that like having an alter ego, I guess, is very helpful. And I didn't think that I was gonna necessarily ever do that, like have an alter ego like
It just
per
happens.
se. Yeah, because sometimes you don't wanna like you're tired or you don't feel good or like there's just something like happening in your life
Life
that
happening.
right that like you were like not really in 100% the mode to like go out and like have all this energy on stage and like put on a performance for people. But whether you like it or not, you got to do it, So it's like I have a job to do. So sometimes like I kind of tapped into like differentiating Angelyse Mariah and just like Angie. Like all my friends and family.
So who's Angie?
Angie's just a chill back, like laid back girl, Like she just chills in the house. Like I be eating my grilled cheeses, my freaking Kraft mac and cheese and nuggets, and like just watching a movie with my friends. I don't even like to go out like that as much. Like I'm not a party girl, but Angelyse, like she just like taps in and she's a diva. Like sometimes when I'm eating like super crappy and I'm like eating like Pizza Hut and Burger King and all these like fast food stuff. I'm like, Angelique would literally never eat this. She would never.
She would never.
She would never eat this. Or like, Angelique would always do XYZ, but Angie's just like, she's just not. She'll do that, but Angelique will never be caught dead doing that.
Never. But that's so cool though, because people get to get a little bit of the insight of how like you become a double personality to them to some degree, because you're a performer, you're an actor, you're a singer, and you have to be able to tap into multiple different personalities to perform.
Right. It's true.
And it's something that you have to know how to shut it on and shut it off.
Yeah.
So people will get the actor, Angelyse, and then at home you're Angie.
Yeah.
Angie with her dog.
Exactly. Just chilling. Like you have to have that, like you have to like have that differentiate like Asian in your life, because this is like a tough business and like you never want to take things personally. Like people are gonna like hate on you or you're gonna be put in certain situations, and it's like just don't even take it personally, because 9 times out of 10 it has like nothing to do with you. Like my acting teacher told me this when I was like in middle school, and it like always stuck with me, to never take any of this like too seriously or never be too hard on yourself, because doing stuff in entertainment is very much like when you go to an ice cream shop and like you may like strawberry, you may like I don't know, salted caramel ice cream, you may like chocolate, but like one day you walk in and like you want vanilla or like you want a different flavor. It doesn't mean you didn't like those flavors before. You just are feeling something else today. And that's why he was like, never take yourself too seriously. If you don't get a job that you audition for, like it's not that big of a deal. Like you just, you just weren't the flavor they wanted that day.
So true. That's a good way to put it into perspective.
Yeah.
Because people just get so stuck on somebody's opinion and they're like, oh my God, I'm not good enough. No, you are good enough.
Yeah.
That's not what they were looking for.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's actually a very good concern. Like not.
Yeah, because if you took yourself like so seriously, it'd be detrimental to you in this industry. You can't do that. Like I've cried enough times growing up. Like I'm done. I like let go of that feeling like 10 years ago.
I hear you. So I know you mentioned the business. How do you like being part of this artist world, the business behind it? How do you handle that?
Well, it's definitely, I mean, me and my dad are learning together as we go, because I was the first person to go like learn about music business before he did. So I went to that NYU program, and then I told him about it. Then he ended up taking like the certification online from them.
Your dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's just like it's definitely different, like we're learning day by day as we go. And it's tough. Like it really, everything you do hear about the entertainment industry for the most part is pretty much true. It is a tough business. It's not easy if you don't really want to be in it. Like there's just no point in even like pursuing it unless you're 100% like
yeah.
this is what I want to do. I have no other plan B's. Like, don't even bother because this is gonna push you and like this is gonna test your limits and there's gonna be so many ups and downs and especially in the beginning. That's like being an independent artist and a woman, young. It's like it's not easy.
So does your dad manages you?
Yeah, he manages me. But we both get stuff like people even hit me up for shows too. Like we both like work along with each other and like I get something and he helps me like close it,
Yeah.
you know, or you know,
Yeah.
vice versa too.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We're working with daddy. How does that work out?
It's exactly what you think it might be.
What does that mean?
Like working with your family, you know?
Yeah.
It's like anybody that works with their family knows exactly what I'm talking about because at the end of the day, like if, at this moment in time, like I still live with my parents.
Yeah.
So like if you're working with other people that are not related to you, there's that like professionalism
Boundary. Yeah.
that's still there in that boundary. At the end of the day, I'm going home and I'm eating dinner with him. Or like, you know, he's you know, like it's just that level is not there. So they'll tell you straight up what they think.
Yeah.
Like
It's different.
Straight
No,
up.
I hear you.
Yeah, no, like, oh, this is my client, and I need to just tell her, like, no, they'll
And
be
be
like,
careful how you say it.
exactly,
I don't want to offend her. I don't want her to get upset.
right.
Yeah.
So,
He's straight up raw.
well, yeah, those are both of my parents because it's just like you live together, and you know how your parents are sometimes. They'll tell you like for real, straight up, like,
Yeah.
wouldn't even care about your feelings sometimes.
But how has that helped you grow as a person?
Well, it definitely helps me the fact that I'm lucky that not a lot of people in my position, like in entertainment, don't really have that support from their family because, like, and I know that. So I know that I'm very lucky and I'm grateful for that. And, you know, I know that at the end of the day, like, they have my back and I can trust them and they're not out to get me. You know, they're not.
Everything is in your best interest.
Exactly. There's no ulterior motive.
No.
So,
Because if you win, they win. Everybody's gonna win.
exactly. So I don't got to worry about any griminess happening. Yeah, like all, you know, all the crazy stuff that you hear in the industry.
What has been your biggest hurdle with your father?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe just the fact that he's my dad sometimes. So like you have that.
Authority, is it? Is it the authority part?
No.
Or?
It's honestly sometimes like maybe the most of our like disagreements comes from the fact that like we are in two different generations.
We are.
And he is, you know, like a straight man and I am like a girl and like my music I feel like is very much like for the girls and the gays. So sometimes like what I want to do like maybe vision wise like he doesn't understand it. So I think that's it. Like that's probably where the most of our disagreements lays. But then I think he's starting to really like understand the vision or understand the concepts. Like I'm teaching him little by little. Like I was showing him some like gay pop artists like today and like the other day to educate, you know, because I'm like, this is supposed to be my audience, it's supposed to be my demographic, and like you as my manager, you need to like understand that. Yeah.
So, can we talk about your acting?
Yeah, we can talk about it. What you want to know?
I want to know more about like what have you accomplished in acting? Yeah, and is that something that you also want to go full force?
Yeah,
or is it something that is second to your music? No.
Well, I've always had like the philosophy of whatever gets me there first. Like I still audition to this day. I still like model too, and it's just like whatever gets me there first. Like I have music released and like. Whether that's like I get a job for acting and then boom, that's how people find out about my music, or like vice versa, people find out about my music and I book something later. Like it's whatever happens. For acting, like I've done a lot of things. Like I started off doing more like musicals and theater stuff. But then when I got signed, it like moved to like I did a lot of commercial stuff and print ads and I did like 2 TV shows where one of them was like nothing crazy. I was just like an extra in Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, cool.
And then the second one, I played like there's this actress, Angelyse Mariah from Orange is the New Black.
I remember that show.
Yeah, she played my mother in a different TV show. It was like Dietland on AMC.
Okay.
And I was her daughter. I was there for only one episode, but it was cool. Like it was like a really cool experience. And then yeah, like I like studied at the Lee Strasberg like School of Acting to learn like method acting.
Okay.
And like that is like one of like the main schools like to learn method acting at. It was so cool. Like Marilyn Monroe went there and like a bunch of famous people went there. And it was just such a cool experience
Yeah.
to like really like get in there and like learn acting and like have them like break you on stage.
What is method acting?
Method acting is, well, the Lee Strasberg way, because it's just like whole debate in the acting community of like which way to do it, and it's like you either do it the Strasberg way or the Stella Adler way or like the Stanislavski way. But basically, method acting is like when you are like prepping to play a character, you're kind of like living as that character day to day, and you stay in there.
So you are fully into character.
You're fully in character, and you're there like.
You become
that person, right? Like you write journal entries like as that person. You like, you know,
believe you're that person.
Yeah, like that's what it is. That's why you hear about like the Heath Ledger, like what he did to like become the Joker. Like that's all method acting.
Yes. That
Yeah.
he was like fully into
Yes,
character.
yeah. The weirdest thing that they ever had me do like for method acting was I was there like Saturdays 9 to 5 for like a couple weeks, right? And I went in, I was like maybe 12 years old. And for like the whole, like maybe half the day that I was there, I'm on stage with like 20 other kids and we're pretending to eat a vanilla cone ice cream. Like, just like imaginary.
The imaginary.
For like 4 or 5 hours. And it wasn't until like, he was like, do you guys taste it? And then like after a while, I swear to God, I think
You would taste it?
Yeah, I swear I tasted it. So that was like some weird stuff they had us do, but that's method acting. And like, or like they would do like this, like it's called breaking you. Like they do this in acting class where essentially they just literally like berate you on stage in front of everybody. Like they'll just have you on stage and they'll be like, tell us about the worst memory you had, right? And they could be something like my dog got hit by a car, right? And like seeing that like really freaked me out. And then the acting coach would be like, okay, go on stage. And he'd be like, now I want you to think about your dog getting run over by a semi-truck, back and forth, rolling back and forth, back and forth. And then like
That's
he'll keep
torture.
going. Yeah, he'll keep going and going and going and like adding more things. Like how would you feel if your mom died or this and that? And then you would just cry on stage. And as soon as you started crying,
they're coming out.
yeah, as soon as you would freaking cry in front of everybody, you'd be like, all right, thank you so much, you're done. Yeah. And like that's just what method acting was. It's just like,
That's so freaking cool. Though.
yeah, it was cool.
I didn't even know about that. That's awesome.
That was method acting. And then after like doing that, I went to performing arts high school where I was a theater major.
Okay.
And I was doing acting every day for 80 minutes in high school. And that was cool. But, you know, it's definitely like, you know, you hear about the stuff with theater kids, like, you know, they're an odd bunch. And like, I was just in a school with those people. So it was like, definitely like victorious every single day. I was like in High School Musical like every day.
How do you distinguish yourself from other artists and other up and coming artists of your age or in your generation? What can you say that Angelyse is this, and this is why Angelyse is different, and this is why Angelyse is the superstar that she will become?
I think what's different about me is the fact that I really value performance art, and I feel like that is something that we've lost of like, you know, along the years. Yeah, like back in the early 2000s, there was big productions. It was set design, costumes, dancers, choreo, and it was like if you didn't have that as a female artist, it was like you're not cutting it.
Yeah.
But today, it's not necessarily like that.
Bare minimum now.
Yeah, and I feel like that's boring. Like I grew up like,
agree with you.
right. I love Broadway stuff. I love theatrics. I love
The
set
drama,
design.
everything.
Yeah. And I think that's what's going to set me apart because there's not that many people that like that. And I love to tell a story. And like, I think costumes and hair and makeup and even like stage and set design, like they all play
You want
into
to bring it all.
Yeah, because it's just like, I love like theatrics. Like that's my thing. So I think it all coincides. I feel like there needs to be like, it's time for a Gen Z like Latina pop star. There has never been like a Latina pop star in America.
Like I have her right here and was absolutely period. That's so exciting, though. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
If you had a message to give somebody your age or wanting to pursue your same goals, what would you tell them?
I think the biggest advice I can give anybody like wanting to pursue a career in this is like only listen to yourself in the sense of like when if other people tell you you can't do it, like that's not even it's in one ear out the other. Don't even listen to that because if I had listened to that, like I would have stopped like
A long time ago.
15 years ago, like 10 years ago, if I'm being so for real. But you have to have a very strong sense of like confidence and like know that like no, I'm gonna do this and I don't care what it's gonna take. And you'll be golden. You'll be okay because once people see that you don't, you don't take shit from anybody and you're like, no, I have this dream and I'm gonna pursue it, then people are gonna see that and treat you as such. If you walk into the room and you're like timid and you don't think that you got it or you could do it, people are gonna see that and it's like, why should I work with her? Why should she, do XYZ? She doesn't even believe she can
herself.
right.
Yeah.
So you just gotta believe, and that's like the corniest thing I guess I could say, or but
It's like
it's so true. It's so true.
it's like that the method. What is it called? The acting thing.
The method acting, yeah, just believe it. Fake it
Believe
until
it.
you make it for real.
Mhm.
Because there's been so many times where I've been scared as hell or nervous about something, and like you just gotta turn it on and be like, no, like I am her, like I am that girl, and other people will be like, damn, she is that girl. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
What has been your biggest struggle?
I think that's definitely like honestly probably about like the way that people like had treated me because I wanted to do this growing up. It was like something that I had to kind of get over like really young. So that's why now with things like I don't know, people saying no or just opportunities not coming that I wanted to like, happen or something. That's why it doesn't bother me as much anymore. Or like people talking shit doesn't bother me as much because I had to deal with that already growing up. Like it was hard for me.
The thick skin.
Yeah, like being in this industry, you build the thick skin, but it really bothered me in the beginning that I felt like I couldn't connect with other people. There wasn't a lot of people that I knew in my small, like 1 square mile town that had any of the same interests as me.
Mhm.
So I kind of felt like the odd one out, but I had to kind of like get used to it because not a lot of people have the same interests as me. Like I'm gonna keep it a stack. Like
Yeah.
how many like people do you know that like really make music? Like you don't really know. So I had to like find that community and like get to know them to a point where like, okay, now I found my people. But like it was what, like 19 years until I really tapped into that.
And then they look at you like you're delusional, like you're gonna be a singer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how many people have told me
They
that? Like,
doubt you.
I think the first person I ever remember telling me something like that was like my third grade teacher.
No way.
Yes,
And
my
you're
third grade
supposed to
teacher.
encourage us.
Yes, that's what I'm
No,
saying.
it's horrible.
It was my third grade teacher, and it was like I wasn't even doing any of this, okay? Like I don't even think like I sang on stage before at this point. Like I wasn't working.
What was it that you told her?
So we had to do a project, and it was like you like draw a little like character of yourself in 30 years and write a little paragraph about what you're doing in 30 years. So I had written that I was going to be a singer, and she like called me to her desk and she was like, Angelyse, like I told the whole class that they need to do something realistic, like you need to change this. And I was like,
Again, an opinion, right?
yeah, but like I don't know, this just shows like to how I was as a kid, because like sometimes like I would just be like, well, like why? Like I would just always be like, no, like I'm not gonna change it. And it didn't really click to my head, like I didn't get too offended, I remember. And then I remember telling my mom and she got really mad, and I was like, why is she mad? Like,
No, I would too.
but I didn't get it. I'm like in third grade.
Yeah, you're a kid.
Yeah. My mom goes to freaking back to school night, and the teacher's talking to all the parents, and she's like, yeah, we did this project in class, and I told all the kids to do something realistic, and everybody did except for one person. And like she called me out.
You out.
Yeah, she called me out, and then my mom got so mad.
Yeah.
She was real feisty back then.
It's pretty little what she did back then.
Back then. She still is feisty, but she was on a different level back then. So she probably like flipped out on her, but I was like 8 years old, and like that was the first time I remember like
That's like crushing a dream.
yeah. But at that time, I was like, I don't know. As a kid, that stuff like never really bothered me too much because I was like, you like she was older. She was like an older lady too. So I was like, you're like, oh, girl, like I'm 8 years old. Like, why are you coming for me like that? Can you let the little 8-year-old girl live? Like,
Let me dream.
yeah. So whatever. That was my scooter. I remember.
That was her name. The Goober?
Yeah.
That was a nice.
No, that was messed up.
So what's your biggest dream, girl? And you're gonna be a singer, but what do you envision when you close your eyes? What do you say? This is what I'm gonna do.
It's like honestly, it's both. Like I want to do acting and I want to do like I want to perform and entertain people.
So that's yeah.
So like my goal was like I really want to be on Broadway. Like I want to do a crossover and like I would love to do like In the Heights or like Chicago, like play one of those characters for like a couple weeks. Um, I want to be in movies. I want to like perform for the halftime show. I want to do SNL and stuff like that. So yeah, those are the goals that I'm thinking about. And when I'm older down the line, I would love to have my own production company.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Because that's the creative side of you.
Yeah, I love like cinematography and I love like I feel like I have a really good eye for stuff on camera. Like I've, recorded music videos and edited a lot of videos before. So that's definitely where I would love to produce movies.
So many passions.
Yeah, I just like honestly everything in the arts I just like love. Like I feel like that happens a lot with creatives.
Yeah.
It's like all kind of
creative lens, yeah.
Yeah, like you see stuff in a different way when you're like really creative like that. So it just like things like that will come to me every time I listen to music. Like I have a music video like made in my head.
In your head.
Yeah.
Automatically.
Yeah.
And envision it.
I've always had that though since I was little. So that's why I've always been into like I'm like, dang, maybe I should like get into doing like production later on.
You can do a little bit of everything.
Right.
Why not?
I know.
So I know you mentioned that you are from a small town.
Yes, I am.
Do you want to share a little bit more about where in Jersey you're from? Just to share with your followers so I could get to know you a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm from Union County and I live in I'm from a small town called Roselle Park in Union County. I don't even I just say I'm from Union County because nobody knows where that town is. It's like a square mile. Everybody knows each other. Like I've lived there from like kindergarten to like senior year of high school.
Okay.
So yeah, real small town. I could literally walk from the edges. Like it's
small.
Yeah.
So if anybody wanted to like continue to follow your music or know like when you'll be performing or have anything going on, how do they stay in the loop? Do you have a website?
Yeah.
You do have a website.
I have a website, but honestly, like just stay tapped into the social medias.
What's your handle?
My handle is Angelyse Mariah on all platforms. So that's Angel YSE Mariah. That's Angelyse Mariah on all platforms. I post a lot, so anything that I have going on, I usually like post about.
Okay, so if they wanted to go see a performance,
yeah. It's all on Instagram.
Okay.
Honestly, Instagram is like probably the best place to follow me at because that's where I post all my like performances, and I always have shit on my stories. So
you're active.
Be active. I mean, you have to be like as an artist.
You have to.
Even not as an artist, you have to like do content creation and
everything. It's part of all of everything.
When you have a business,
yeah,
you know how it rolls.
Yeah, you have to stay alive so people keep following.
For real, if it's not on the internet, it don't exist.
It doesn't, and that's the sad part.
I know, because it's like, man, I didn't sign up to be a content creator. Like, I want to do stuff within like.
So who handles your content creation? You do.
Me. Me.
Also, it goes into content.
Yeah, well, I do because I have to. Honestly, I'm such a like control freak that I feel like nobody can get the vision right. Like I'm the only person that knows what I want to be done.
Mm-hmm.
So half the time I'm just like, just give me the footage. Like I'll do it.
I'll do it.
That's
I could understand that.
Yeah, all my album covers, like my single covers, they're all made by me.
Okay.
Like my visuals have been like all handled by me. All my Instagram stuff is me because it's like I think that's just the way you brand yourself as an artist and like create that kind of like world, you know, of like what Angelyse is and who she is and like she's pink, she's angel wings, she's like, attitude and glam girl. So that's stuff that I kind of like curated on my own, like, all right, this is what the brand's gonna be. But yeah, one day we'll get the team, but today it's me.
But when you do get the team, you have to trust them.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I feel like it's honestly easier that I do it this way because
Yes.
at least like they
You know
know
that-
what
yeah.
I'm going for, right?
And you also know that you can do it too.
Yeah. So like I have what I have and like okay, now we can build off of it because I kind of like
You did the
created what I
foundation.
liked. Yeah, because if I did it earlier, it would be like so much trial and error and it's like no, I don't like that or like no, I want it more like this. Like I'm just gonna do it myself and then when they come along, like they'll see what I have and be like, okay, cool, like this is her vibe. So
And you're about it.
bye bye. Oop.
About it. What do you call your fan base?
What I call my fan base, because we had this conversation and we were like, what do we call them? And they're like, well, my name is Angelyse, and like angels is like kind of something that's always been associated with me. Like my mom and my grandma would get like little angel wing like trinkets for me as a kid. So I think angels kind of made the most sense. So I have I have like a little angel wing tattoo on my fingers and like I might like I just like now it's like a synonymous thing with me because people were calling me that too. Like as I started doing music, I think they just assumed that was my nickname.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, I guess we're going with Angel. So
it's your angel fan club stuff.
yeah, Angel Fan Club, Angel Army. If y'all want to join, just follow me on the gram and support my music.
Well, it was a pleasure having you. I really enjoy having you here today.
Thank you so much.
Sharing more of who Angelyse Mariah is.
Thank you.
Toda una diva, que me encanta. I love it. I'm looking forward to your single. What is it called again?
Puro perreo.
Sounds good.
Well, it's gonna be out very soon. So
Do you
stay
have a
tuned.
release date or no?
Not a release date yet, but if you follow me on the gram, you'll find the release date out very, very soon.
Here.
So thanks so much for having me, guys. Pleasure.
En la disco, sabes que soy una fresquita. Te la voy a dar a ti como me la das a mí. Bien duro, baby. Tiramos hasta el suelo, papi, yo te doy.